recordings, but now it's set. Good, good, good. We are live, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Oh God, you've gone into darkness, Kabaza.
Yeah, I'm just turning on the lights. I'm showing off that everything is controlled by my phone, but the problem is it's kind of still bad because it's not controlled in one center place. Okay, let's go live on Instagram as well. Hello, people on Instagram.
Insta Jizzle.
Insta Jizzle.
Mr. Gizzle? Jizzle? I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
It's just me
but it
being
can't be good.
Cool. Sweet.
Cool. Let me turn on more lights and we'll start.
See, I prefer not wearing glasses, but at the same time, I cannot see absolutely jack shit.
I didn't have my glasses for a client meeting today, which I will tell you about down the line in the show. And I was like trying to show something in Webflow to them, and I was like in my laptop because I couldn't. And things didn't move like best. Like when you present something, things start to break down. That literally happened to in a client meeting. Oh man.
Oh, and you get hot and sweaty. And it's like, oh, I remember my first kind of strategic what do you call it? Workshop.
Yeah.
And I was in Australia, and this workshop was and Australia time zones are so hard to like line up with the UK, and it was with the UK, and I think it was like 11 p.m. for me or 10 p.m. for me, and I do not function after 10 p.m. Like I'm very much an early person. I was up at 5 this morning, and like so I did this workshop, and it was just going downhill. I was in an Airbnb, and I told the host who was staying at the time, they were in and out, but they were staying in the Airbnb at the time. I told the host, like, just to let you know, next week, so it was like a week notice, next week I've got a meeting that will go quite late, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Anyway, in the middle of this friggin' workshop, she blasts in and shouts at me for like being like, can you wrap this up because it's quite late? And I'm like, luckily my phone or whatever I was like on was on mute, and I don't know whether I was on camera. I can't remember if I was on camera, but the point is, like, no one would have heard them. No one would have heard her except me. And I kind of looked around like, what the gee, like I told you it would be anyway. So, but I knew, and I was getting tired, and like, and I obviously had this pressure, and I remember like getting my laptop and going into the bedroom, because I was in the living room, going to the bedroom where my girlfriend at the time was sleeping, and I said, like, I woke her up and said, I'm really sorry, I've got to like continue. It was just a disaster. The long story short is I wanted to just curl in a ball and die, because it was just, I don't know, it was going so badly, like the workshop. It was awful. And by the way, so many very, very important, very, very expensive people from their side were on the call, like the CEO, the CTO, all of these big people. And it's like, I'm wasted like and it was like, and I was trying to wrap up this workshop as quickly as possible, but at the same time, I knew I didn't have everything, and I knew I hadn't asked them the right questions, but just the mortification inside of me was just telling me to just run. I ended up refunding them the money, which, by the way, was like 250 quid. It was like nothing. It was, I was just wanted to crawl in a ball and die.
Yeah. So to everybody, if you're starting, embrace yourself. These things will happen, and it's fine. That's what you learn from. So after today's call, I I told like my project manager, I was like, let's make our presentations a bit faster, and then make them a bit more robust. But things happen because clients come, they ask questions, and then I'm like, I'm gonna answer it, and I'm not just gonna tell you things, I'm gonna show it to you, and then I show it to them and it doesn't work the way intended. But it happens anyway. Let's get into things, because this week we have quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we do. Should we go right into it and not do the Figma thing? Should we just get into it?
Figma thing, the framer thing.
I keep saying Figma. Oh
Happy
God.
Halloween. Figma and framer, you're confusing these two together, and they are probably not very happy about it.
Yeah.
Framer, what was it? Framer.
Don't worry about it. Let's crack on and let's do the intro and let's get Site of the Week going. Don't worry about Framer.
Yeah. Okay. So the intro for this week is not, very polished. Let me just go with it. So this week we had tons of news related to design. We had an update from Figma, which now supports slots and components. That's really big. We have Adobe, which had Adobe Max, and we have some news on Adobe related products that might become obsolete because we have a new, not a new product, but we have Affinity photo that is now free. We'll talk about that. And we had a huge cursor update that I'm all about it, alongside with some Google AI Studio news, right? Google AI Studio, we have the robot. That's really cool. We have a few websites to show you. So it's quite busy, and we can get to it.
Cool. Jump right into it.
Yeah. Should we start with the Site of the Week? And I'm going to share my screen.
You designers are going to love it this week because there's a few AI bits and bobs, but there's a lot of design stuff that's been going on if you hadn't been keeping up to date.
All right.
Okay. So right, I'm embracing.
All right. So this is Site of the Week. This is designed by Nicolo Miranda. In my belief, probably the best web designer out there. The guy is legendary. He's Italian. Mm-hmm. And I believe he's based in Amsterdam, or he was at least. And he's just insane. Like, you look at his work, it's absolutely insane. And this is like his new work. And I'm pretty sure this is going to win some awards. It's a bit heavy though. Like, the website took a good moment to load, but once it loads, you see it took no time to reload. And it has like this really cool slider that auto plays, and we have some video controls. This is, by the way, really nice for accessibility, that you can pause it, it's mute by default, so it's not bothering me. And it's about this Meta glasses that are made with this company. This is a I don't know, sport glass company.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Apparently now you have like your smart glasses, for different occasions. For example, in this case,
because you had the Meta display, right? And these are, because Luxology or Luxologia or something like that own Oakley and Ray-Ban. So there's obviously
okay. Good. By the way, you see this slider? That's really cool. Do you see the nice small details? Yeah. That's what I'm all about. I love these like very tiny details that are out there. I haven't looked into the code, but just from here, it looks like they are using, by the way, Adobe Analytics. Interesting. We'll talk about this in a bit. They are using Linus for the smooth scroll. If you are wondering how that is made, that's with a plugin called Linus. And we have some 3D stuff made with 3JS. I don't see GSAP, which is a bit strange. But maybe it's not loading correctly, because I'm pretty sure
they rolled their own. Maybe they've got their own. I mean, what JavaScript do they? I don't know that. Well, I sort of know this tool, but like, is JavaScript? So Preact, Boomerang. Was it Boomerang? If you scroll up, see the one on the right here. The JavaScript libraries.
Yeah, this is Boomerang. What is Boomerang?
That sounds like it would be an animation library.
Yeah, that true. Well, let's see. I have no idea what this is.
API documentation, which is no,
I
maybe not
don't
then.
know.
Is a JavaScript library that measures the page load time, so not that.
Oh, interesting. So this is for your loader, for the loader. So it's not a downloader, probably.
No, it's
Maybe?
probably just an analytics tool. I think it's just
Really?
analytics. Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Okay, because we have this loading, and I thought that's what it would be. Anyway, so we have some of these scrolls, and you see here we have a 3D experience.
That's the 3JS stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. And this took like a good minute to load. This is what was really heavy. And
yeah, you got those reflections moving in real time as well.
Yeah. And you have like the colors. Oh yeah, you see here it's quite slow compared to the Apple website, like where you have like the full iPhone that you can like rotate. It's just much faster than this, even though the iPhone probably is like a bit heavier, or at least that's how I think. Anyway, the site is pretty cool. Do you think you could vibe code something like this if you had the model?
Well, the model would need to be created. You can't. This is a CAD model or something. It's
like
a real
let's
life
say
thing, right?
Blender.
So once you have the model, yeah, I mean, all this is just you could probably do this in Spline even. It's just a model that you can rotate and whatever. And I've no doubt that the position and rotation is probably tracked, and you just switch the model out. Do you know what I mean? So you're just loading a new model. You just load. There's probably a way that you can actually trigger different materials, which might probably be performant. But I'm not great at the 3D stuff. But this seems pretty straightforward,
Yeah. Well, for a client, we have kind of like a situation where I want to vibe code, at least try. I just want to try something with 3D. Instead of doing video, I want to do 3D. What is really cool here, as I scroll, I have this main scroll bar, but also I have this contextual scroll bar. I think this is like, it's making it better with these sites that do scroll hijacking, and they are like, typically not known for the best UX, but at least they are giving you here a little bit more visual. Actually, like visually they tell you where they are and where you are, like you're not lost in it. Yeah. This part, it has some audio that you probably can't hear. Yeah. Oh, so you can like, immersive audio. You can have like music. Yeah, that's it. It's a shop. It's an experience within this like whole brand. This is also something interesting. These brands, sometimes they have a more normal shop, normal website, but for a campaign, for a product, they launch these like crazy ass websites, which works great with creating awareness. And once people are in and people are interested, they can have a more normal shopping experience. So that website is not destroying the entire like the rest of the website. It's just an extra nice experience.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do a few years ago, but I just don't have the contacts. Like I got in contact with a few big companies, but no one with any real weight behind it. But I was like, shopping. Took Apple as an example. Like you always get the landing page. Well, yeah, as you've just described. You once you navigate to the shopping experience, it's very boring, straightforward experience. But the actual marketing side, this stuff is all very ooh. And I would love to have done more sites like this. I think I got in contact with Anchor. I built like Anchor, like a the battery company. I built them like a thing. But yeah, I just could not find the contacts to break into that market.
Interesting, yeah. But you see how faster this one loaded compared to the other one. So I don't know how much of this is about the models themselves or like how it was coded, but it was instantly loaded when I loaded the page, but the other one took a good while. Anyway, this is website of the week picked by me before it wins awards. So you hear
you saw it here first.
Yeah, you saw it here first. It will probably win awards. Like Nicolo Miranda, he doesn't do work that doesn't win awards. Cool.
Excellent. Cursor 2?
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one. What's that from? That's from a movie, isn't it?
I don't know, but it's like Cursor 2.
Yeah, so big release from Cursor, and some interesting things that have happened with it. First and foremost, obviously the IDE. Let me share my screen and we can all go through it together. And I think this is it. And for me, a real review. Oh, come on now. Here we go. For me, some real progressions into like what might be coming in the future, specifically converting those traditional developers into more vibe coders. So basically what you're seeing on the screen right now is this all new agent mode, which you can swap just at the top left here. I think this UI could probably be a bit nicer, but the agent mode here is just basically removing the code from the experience, which oftentimes a lot of people do. They're just vibing out, basically. So a really, really cool, simplified experience here. On top of that, they've introduced their own model, the Composer One model, which I've heard mixed benchmarks about. It's debatable. It's leveraging an open source or open weight model, potentially GLM 4.6, but they've released their own model, which performs very, very well. It's a very fast, snappy model. It's not your big thinking model. It's your fast, snappy model. So that's really cool. You can do split testing. So you can test 3 models at the same time and then pick the best result, which is pretty crazy.
You can do more, by the way.
Sorry?
You can do more than
what?
3. More
models.
Yeah,
no. Yeah, look.
I did like 6 yesterday, and
yeah.
How does that work when you pick like 6 different models? Do they do the same thing and pick the best, or do they do different?
You send the prompt. You send the prompt, and you'll get a split view of 3 different models, or however many models you chose, and you just read the results, or you read the thing, the result, and you just choose the one you think is the best, and you get a little performance review of like how fast it was and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. So on top of that as well, you've got work tree, which is again something you can probably do. You can ask your AI to create a new work tree, but this is a way of creating sort of branches on your local machine and running different, like you could have a branch for one feature, another work tree, another work tree for one feature, another work tree for another feature, and be working on them simultaneously with different agents. So, it's classic when you're locked up and you're working in, you're just working in on a feature and you're letting your AI go, and it's like, well, what am I going to do? Well, you just spin up another work tree and begin working on that one. So this is just a nice sort of user interface. It's fairly abstracted from you what's actually going on. You just work away, and then you create a new agent and then create a new work tree or whatever. But it's just this whole experience here. Like I've just, I was doing this earlier. I just changed the background. Actually, my video's gone out now, so was running this on a local LLM and getting it to change the background color or whatever. So that was pretty cool. So really, really cool. I'm going to remove this just for a second, go to editor and then click on another file. In fact, let me just double check. Yeah. So if we go to this here, the other one which we were playing around with earlier is you've got the browser.
Yeah.
Which you can open up in the, which I guess you're probably better off showing because I can't show what this app is, but you've got an in-app browser, which behind the scenes or the technology that I think is using is the Chrome MCP, because it can open up in a Chrome browser or it can be within the window space in the middle here, and you can then interact with it or ask about it or query about it, again, under the hood using the MCP. And this can really speed up especially design workflows, but also development workflows, because you can query the console and what's happening and various things like that, just to make that development more seamless experience. So really, really impressive release from Cursor here. Some really interesting advancements they've made. The only thing to say really is about Windsurf also released their new model, which is the SWE 1.5 model, again using an open weights model. Speculated that it's GLM 4.6. I use Kilo Code. They actually sunsetted their model, which is called something. I wrote it down here, but it's not there anymore. They've had their own model, but they're now encouraging you to use Grok 4 Fast. So yeah, it's a weird time for Kilo Code to be sunsetting their model, while simultaneously Cursor and Windsurf both launching their own model. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But you've been playing around with it too, haven't you? You've been knocking some stuff out. So do you want to take us through that?
Yeah, happy to show you. Yeah, cool. So this is the new UI that I really like, or like the new way of using Cursor, where I have my cursor window here. This is the agent view that I have like very tiny and small on the side of the screen. And then I have this browser instance that is opened and controlled by Cursor. So this is just Chrome, but Cursor can see it. It can read the console log, so I don't have to copy paste things from the console log to Cursor. It can just basically even, I believe, click in and see the elements and things like that. I really like this view, but I don't only use it from that view. I also like the editor view with the browser inside. So as you see here, we have this browser as a tab. Just like you have the files, you have also this browser window. And here I can, just do browser stuff, or I can like select elements. In this case, we just have a canvas, not much to select. But we can also toggle the DevTools from Chrome. And here we can see the console, and I just added some console log. I asked Cursor to do it, and that is pretty cool, right? And I'm trying to, I haven't found a lot of success, and this is where it gets interesting about the models and about the multi-agent and multi-model stuff. I've been trying since yesterday. I have an issue with this project that I can't fix. I couldn't fix it before with Cursor 1, and I haven't been able to fix it with Cursor 2 either. So I don't know. The UI is cool. The new way of working is really cool. I'm really like finding a lot of fun, and I'm learning a lot by just doing things in this way. And it's just more cohesive. It's all, together, especially not on this small window that I have. I put what you see on my screen, I put it on a bigger screen on a 32-inch display, and then it's just much nicer experience. And I know this is maybe a wrong comparison, but the way it feels like Webflow 2019 to me. Not the tool. I know the tools are different. Well, there are some similarities you built for the web, what is interesting to me, what like the feeling that I get is this enablement, that I can do stuff, that I can create stuff that most people can't or think they can't. They could if they just, start prompting. I know it's not the highest quality or whatever, but similarly, like in 2019, I remember when I started using Webflow, I could just start and create things. And yes, the code was not like the cleanest, but who cares? I could get the point across. I could start building and get on the train of building for the web and get excited. That's my point. The takeaway, like here is the excitement. And I'm getting this excitement right now from Cursor. And I think that is what they are doing absolutely right. These people understand the product and they understand even the UI. It's just great that you can have the developer experience and the more agentic experience. So they are allowing, this is what pros want. They want to have the ability, the option to completely control their windows and do whatever they want. And maybe for people who don't want to go all that deep in the code, they can just embrace the vibes and just go to the agent mode and just chat and not even look at anything. By the way, even in the agent mode, you can still open the browser. So you could have a situation where you have only browser and agent, and the agent does everything. You see it in the browser and you don't have to touch code. You could do that. So I'm very excited about this, and I will get back to more of what I'm doing, trying to fix this. The issue that I have, it takes 2.5 seconds to load the first frame, but I know it can be fixed, and I kind of have found what is causing it, but I can't do it in the right way without breaking other things. And this is just because of my ignorance, because I don't understand WebGL and the GLSL code that I have enough in order to fix this. But yeah,
that's what AI is for.
Well,
help you understand.
So far, AI is like the plan mode has been interesting, like giving me plans, and I have been able to isolate the problem in a different repo, and I'm like doing all of that, but I have not found a lot of success bringing those foundings from that other repo to the main one and actually make it work with the rest of the code. But yeah, this is more complex than most people would think, like with the waves and with the 3D and with the interactions. It's not the simplest interaction out there. So yeah. It's not made by me. It's not also made by AI. This is made by a developer who's not available, unfortunately, anymore to help. So I'm trying to do the rest with AI.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a good way to learn to figure.
Yeah.
So do you ever have the code open, or are you mostly
Yes,
just
I do.
out?
No, I don't. I don't use the agent mode all that much, even though I showed you that new way of doing it because I was like trying to understand the console log, trying to log out everything that is happening and see when is what is breaking. But typically, I'm in the editor mode trying to understand, and a lot of the time, I'm in the ask or plan mode. I try to do agent mode as less as possible. Like I don't want to do it a lot because I want to learn. That's my primary goal right now, is to understand, okay, what is like the experience code, like what does do what. And this is quite complex for somebody on my level, but still it helps. This is not the only project I'm working on. I'm working on a few other projects, and like if I show you like on GitHub, I just started pushing. These are not done exactly by me. These were like my developers telling me to push something. But right now I'm like, these are done by me. Like I'm trying to.
It's funny how
do a
you've
little
really
bit.
solidly started using Git, because before the call, obviously you were like, shit, how do I revert and whatever? And I was like, okay, do this, and everything was sorted. But a month ago, looking at that graph, you wouldn't even have been using Git. So
Yeah, and I am now. I'm like going from no code to knowing code. It's still early, but it's fun. It's really
to your
fun with
point
Cursor.
of like what your Webflow, to that whole spiel is, this is what it should be all about. And this is why I hate this gatekeeper attitude that people have about all these vibe coders. It's like, you're really enjoying what you're doing. It's inviting you to dig deeper. You want to learn shaders, you want to learn 3JS and all this, that, and the other. And it's like, this is where it starts. But people have their back up against all of these tools that enable people to get on board. I just don't understand why people can't be happier that we're in an age where tools are getting easier and you can just prompt your way into a website,
Well, this was true about Webflow as well, by the way. Like I remember 2018, 2019, agencies would not say they are using Webflow. Many would not say it. It was their hidden tool. And now the same is happening with Cursor. People are not saying that they are using Cursor, many, even if they are using it. There are always these people who are really good at adopting new technologies, and they're really good at learning it. These people are, early adopters, really fast, really smart. And some of them, they might just keep it to themselves. They just, do amazing things, and you look at their amazing work and you're like, how the hell did you do that? Like, if you didn't know Framer or Webflow, if you had no idea about it, and you would see like a really cool animation, this still happens to this day. You see these cool animation. I share them on my Instagram. People are like, how the hell is that even possible? And, with Webflow, it's very easy. Well, it is easy for me. It is easy for you because we know these tools. So yeah, there are gatekeepers. And equally, I believe there are people who are not negative about it, but they don't share the tools that they are using because, it makes them even more special.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But guys, you see it, use these tools. Like Cursor is the newest, hottest one. And I'm having a hell a lot of fun using it.
Just a shout out to Neptune, he's been in the comment section being like, oh, is this live? Yeah, of course it's live, mate. Of course it's live. And saying that, let's jump into the comments that we've been getting on some of our other videos, because I think that's a nice way for us to see what you guys are saying, but also just sort of articulate some of the thoughts I've been having. So if I find the right, sorry, I'm just finding the right thing to share here.
So do you want to talk about the comments?
Yes, I do. Here we go. Got it. But yeah, so our video, so the Mac M1, the Mac video got a lot of eyeballs on it. A lot of people are loving their M1 chips. Like, there are some people in here who are still rocking the Intel. I don't know whether I could get on board with the Intel bandwagon. Where was it? There was somebody who said something about their Intel, and I'm like, okay, as long as it works. And I think this is a really, really crucial point. Like, there's always this desire to like get the latest and greatest, but if you are not encountering any sticking points, then you don't need to upgrade. Realistically, I know it's nicer to have the fastest, and the latest and greatest, but you really, really don't. And this is the sentiment. Here we go. i5 chip. There we go. Mac Mini i5.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And I'm still very happy with my M1 machine. It's still totally fine. And to reiterate the video, I upgraded to an M1, like top of the line, which would have cost $5,000 or $4,000 if I'd bought it brand new, but I bought it off a guy down the pub. The point is I'm not even capturing that, the full potential of it doing what we do. However, I have been doing some research, and more specifically in the nature of the show, I've been looking into LLMs and running LLMs locally and how they work. And I just kind of wanted to piggyback off this episode and share kind of what I've been learning. And I think low key, Macs are kind of primed to be a really advanced and what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, it all comes back to unified RAM.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with PCs, you have your VRAM, you have your graphics card, and that has a level of RAM in it. You know, you get 16, you'll get 92, you get 128 gig in that RAM of that machine. And then you have your normal DDR5, DDR6 RAM chips, which, you know, plug into the CPU or whatever. Don't know the specifics around what it plugs into or whatever. Macs have this thing called unified RAM. So right off the bat, you already know how much VRAM is available to your graphics card just by buying RAM.
Yeah.
So you said something along the lines of 16 gigs, the maximum you should go to. When we start talking about LLMs, which again, my video went out today, I run Cursor using, point it to a local LLM and run local AI to power my agentic mode inside of Cursor, which was really fun. You need to be very mindful that you need to load in the AI. Obviously, you need the space on your machine. Let's say, for example, it's a 20 billion parameter model that takes up, 17 gig of space or something like that. That whole 17 gig needs to be able to load into your VRAM of your graphics card. And if you don't have that, you can't run the model. It just starts chugging and it just fails miserably. Yeah. So if we were to talk about AI, if you were to look forward into local AI, which I'm getting more and more convinced by the day that local LLMs will become so important. Going back to what I said previously, I think it's preposterous that we are controlling our browser with remote LLMs. I think there's so much that we can do on our local machine. We just need the machines to get faster and the technologies just to get a little bit better, as with everything, of course.
Yeah.
But I still think the graphics will be a bottleneck in all of that. So what am I saying here? If you are looking to get into AI, local AI, and you are a designer or you are a developer, yes, the M1 will take you very, very far. The M1 Pro is the top spec you should probably go for in all of that, not the Max. Fine. But it will really struggle if you're running AI, LLMs and stuff like that. And that's maybe when you should start looking into the more recent models, because I reckon I kind of want to buy the M5, to be honest, just to try it and see how much better it is. Still need lots of VRAM, that's the thing, but the chip that will load the model, but the speed at which it can do the AI, that you can have a more reasonable chip like the M5. I just want to kind of try it. But yeah, it was sort of like, as I was starting to understand more about Max AI, what these machines are capable of, I think what we were saying is good if you're strictly development, like old school development, using remote AIs and design. That was a long speech, but I just thought I'd share what I've been learning, and that kind of went into the video that I put in, that I released today.
So all I'm hearing is you want a lot more subscribers so we can both afford M5 Ultra so we can run our local LLMs. Yeah, that's what we need, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. But now, saying all that, I was so happy with my M1, and as we were saying last week, and as everyone's been saying, the M1 is totally fine for what we do. As I start to get more interested in local LLMs and AI in general, like it's like I'm waiting for that M1 Pro, and I'm like, oh. And then I would think
M5.
Yeah. I would go completely against your advice. I would max out the RAM, because I've got 64 gig of unified memory on this machine, which can load a fair few amount of models, but the cores, the speed at which my GPU is running, that I mean, I've got 30 core GPU, but it's just not powerful enough to actually, I need to learn the vocabulary to talk about this, but like the speed at which the AI can run, that's where the M1s really, really struggle. I can load the model, but can't run it fast, basically. But yeah, it's been really cool just kind of going on this nerdy journey. So go and subscribe to me and watch that video and give it a like and give it a, all that sort of lot. Any thoughts on that before we move on to the other one?
No, not much.
So the other thoughts I had, one video that did get a lot of attention, which Neptune, shout out to you, who joined us through that video, is the Figma pricing.
So if you go up and click on popular, scroll all the way up.
There we go. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Shut this guy off. I don't want to hear what he has to say. Someone said something. Now I'm loving what you guys are saying. Like, I think people are really, people want Framer to come watch our video. I think people are really upset with the pricing. There was one guy actually I just responded to who was like, you might have something to say about this. He was suggesting that we should be, expensing the price to our clients, but I don't think it doesn't matter whether it's your clients or it's you paying. Like, it's still an unattractive offer for anyone to have to spend that amount of money. Like, it's not, it doesn't matter that your client is paying for it, and we shouldn't be so bold to just recommend something and that costs them a lot of money just because it's easier for you. So it's a cyclical thing. That was just a comment that came in the last half an hour. But the one, sorry, were you going to say something?
I want to say something about that comment.
Go for it.
Going to. Okay, so I'm gonna remove that and show that. In that video, we said that we are going to make I'm going to make a video on that. Just a preview of that video. And to answer that comment, we have it's a Framer template, and I have 2 editors added. Everything is free, right? Everything is free. I'm editing, designing, 3 people, all. So
editors are free in design mode too.
Yes.
Nice. Nice. Didn't know
that. Now I go to plans, and let's say maybe I want the one with A/B testing. It's €100 a month, or maybe let's go with the cheapest version that I can buy, because this is over the limits already. You'd be like, what do you think? Like, this is going to cost like a few €100 a year. I press on subscribe, and here it's going to cost me €1,300 per year.
Oh my God. And the thing is, editors can come and go. So I wonder what that means from a perspective of well, I have this editor who I need to work on it for the next month, but then they're done.
Yep. Yes. Yes. So you have the seat. I'm pretty sure you will have the seat, and you can give the seat to somebody else. But once you bought it, and so this is just one of the issues. And the bigger issue here is I want everybody, and I will make sure in my main video, everybody to understand this. This is per site. This is not per workspace. So you can have free workspaces, free project, everything. Everything is free until you want to go live. So when I go live for this project, for myself and my team, that both of my team members in this case are me and myself. For myself and my team, I have to pay €1,300. And then I have a second website. For that website, I have to pay another €1,300.
You can't transfer that editor across projects,
it's per project. But in Webflow, yes, we have workspaces, but once you pay for a workspace for your team, that team has access even to other workspaces. So it's very, very generous in that way. Once you have the team, even your clients don't have to pay for your seat. So this is quite expensive. And your clients shouldn't pay €1,300. They shouldn't pay €900 for editor seats. That's just ridiculous. It's
crazy.
It's editor.
And you know, this kind of comes off the back as well of the we commented on the ad, which we said is not. It's a very clever and funny ad saying all these other companies say it's free, but it's only a taster. This is their version of exactly what they were joking about. Like, it's free until you need to pay for a site, and then it's completely. I was going to say a bad word.
I don't have an issue with it costing money. My problem is it's very unjustified, very ridiculously priced.
So this is a good segue into this comment here, Web Studio being the way to go. And I don't want to labor on too much about Web Studio specifically, but it's this idea of like, you know, Framer and Webflow, they are giving you a very good service. They are taking a lot of headache. There was another comment here that said something along the lines of they're all really expensive. And I responded with, that's the price of convenience. They are giving you so much. You don't have to worry about maintenance. You don't have to worry about uptime. You don't have to worry about CMS. One of these guys responded with the Web Studio thing. And this is something, if you don't know what Web Studio is, it is literally just the designer that gives you the website that you can go host anywhere. I think that's the big sales pitch of Web Studio. And I show you how to do that again on another one of my videos. I show you how to do that. It's an Astro project, which is one thing Webflow have just contributed to as well. So they're pushing for Astro, some open source, blah, blah, blah. And then you can kind of post it wherever you want. Off the surface sound, and you know, just to finalize what I was saying there is like, they do have a monopoly. They do have a lot of say in what they pay because they are giving you a good service, and you're getting so much. It's an all-in-one solution. You're just paying for that convenience. And I do think Framer are taking the piss a little bit. However, what can you do?
And I agree. This is convenience. This is the price of a good product, you know, that doesn't need a lot of maintenance or any at all. But Framer has brought it to a ridiculous level, and that's what we are calling out. Not the tool itself. The tool is amazing. It's just that the pricing, to me, is very unjustified. And I don't want Webflow to, you know, raise the price because Framer can get away with it, right? I had a client today. They are on Typo 3. I mentioned this earlier before the call. Typo 3 is a ancient old CMS. It's a very German thing, apparently. Like in Germany, it's popular. But this lead, it's not my client yet. They're trying to come to Webflow. Why? Because they want a CMS and an editor that can be maintained by the marketing team. Very specifically, this is like their need. Why? Because they don't want an engineer, you know, from their engineering team to go to work on Typo 3. Like, why should in 2025, let alone soon 2026, an engineer, like a full stack or like front-end engineer, go work on a marketing website when we have Framer and Webflow and tools alike that can do it perfectly fine? And they are migrating because of that.
So just to wrap up, like the Web Studio conversation here as well, I did at one stage strongly recommend Web Studio because a lot of people were asking for this. They want the design capabilities of Webflow, but they don't want to be locked into that system. And I was like, Web Studio is the way to go. And I still do think it's the way to go if you want that. However, I was also, you know, I would promote like the price aspect of it. This kind of goes back into our conversation. And actually, I built a website with Web Studio, and the CMS was Airtable, right? So the website itself was free to run. Web Studio was, Airtable was also free to run. However, we were hitting limits very, very quickly from the API for Airtable. And I had, you know, God knows how many hours I've put into actually building a system which caches and does this and does that, so that we don't hit Airtable as much as we, you know, to exhaust our API limits. That costs a lot of money. Luckily, it was for a friend. I was more than happy to do it for her. But if you didn't know how to do what I know how to do, you would probably reach out and pay for Airtable, the CMS, which gets how much that costs? $30 a month. So whilst I'm not paying for Web Studio anymore, $30 a month goes into the pocket of, it just gets offset. So that really solidifies how cheap Webflow really is, even with things like Web Studio. Web Studio do have, now they allow you to host and this, that, and the other, but the CMS and also the CMS functionality, once you enable it to get your website up and running and reading from Airtable, the moment you stop paying for the CMS functionality, which is a pro feature, you cannot then edit your site at all. So kind of shit on a Web Studio a little bit here, because I'm quite disappointed that they took that feature away. Just exemplifies how cheap Webflow is basically what I'm saying. Web Studio off the bat isn't as cheap, unless you're just, you want a designer that hosts a very static website with no CMS functionality, nothing like that. It's just a bog standard website. So yeah, Web Studio, again, Webflow surprisingly cheap coming out on top here. So
yeah, contrary to popular belief.
There you go. Did you have anything else to say before we move on?
No, we should move on. We have a long list, and
we do.
Not a lot of time.
Yeah. So we have a competitor to Neuralink. Did you know?
No, I didn't know that.
From OpenAI. So they are calling it. What's it called? Let me just have a look. Let me just share it with you guys.
No, wait.
So he's just hired a top neurological researcher called Mikhail Shapiro. He's an award-winning biomolecular engineer. He basically pioneered this way of looking at cells with ultrasound. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that's something like the Apple Watch, where it kind of bounces off, I don't know, more accurate, something like that. So Altman has hired him to... He thinks there is a non-invasive way to read brain activity with ultrasound. So this, whilst Neuralink actually drills into your skull and puts stuff in there, this is just completely using ultrasound. So really interesting advancement. I don't think they've actually done it yet, but Altman has hired him, and I sort of felt like this went a little bit under the radar a little bit, because this is amazing. Like, it's really interesting, and we'll get into some of the other stuff that OpenAI have been doing, but this just did not get any airtime from anyone. So yeah, and I thought because you love the Neuralink.
Yeah, but like prior to Elon going crazy, I would say just drill a hole in my skull and install this. For people who don't know, I'm not sure if people know Neuralink. Have you seen the Neuralink, the famous monkey video?
What, from Neuralink?
Yeah.
No, have I?
Give me a second. I'm pulling it up. Yeah. So this is a famous, very old video.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
4 years ago. And just in short, this monkey learns how to use a joystick to play a game, and then they are monitoring his brain activities. And later on in the video, you see that they deattach the joystick, and he's just thinking and moving his muscles, and they are like basically controlling the computer by this monkey just thinking about controlling the cursor. He's not physically controlling it. So this is very important to understand. And this was 4 years ago. Today, this has been installed on human brain, and actually, like, there are people who can type on their smartphone faster than any other human can type on a smartphone, just by thinking, without, like, just a normal iPhone with a Neuralink attached to their head. Now, that comes with a big caveat, and it's mentioned in this video by Cold Fusion very well. I really recommend this video, and I think we will add this also to the description. You should watch it. So there are a lot of companies doing what Neuralink is doing. Neuralink was like a pioneer, or at least they were really good at marketing themselves in that way. And the issue with Neuralink is that you have to drill the skull, like literally put a hole and then add like micro needles. These are very small, tiny wires that literally penetrate your brain tissue. They're inside of your brain tissue. And that way they can read and write. That's very important. They can read what you are like trying to do. That's not like for everything. They can't read what you are thinking. But for example, if you want to move your hand, these wires in your head, they pick up that you want to move your hand and it reads it. And not just that, they can also write to it, meaning that if you are blind, I believe there are like even it's not just theory. They've been like implementing this in some level of success. That like there are cameras, maybe not as high quality as these cameras, but there are cameras that can capture the environment and then they send a signal to the patient's brain, and in your brain you would see what the camera is seeing. And theoretically in the future we'll be able to have like ultra vision or whatever, zooming and night vision and everything just by attaching these devices to your head. And this has been something that Neuralink has been very good at, but now a lot of companies, a lot of competitors are coming up with, as you said, like other ways without penetrating the skull, without like drilling a hole. Other companies are trying to just have a device that can read without needing surgery. And Neuralink itself has a lot of issues because it's not very stable, apparently. So it works for a few months and then it stops working, or these needles, some of them stop working. So the read speed and the amount that you can do with it decreases sharply over like a very short period of time. Still, all of that being said, this is very early, but it is very exciting. It's in the first stage, it's great for people with disabilities, but soon it will be for practically everybody, right? You would be able to control, communicate potentially, and with AI, it's just getting more wild, and it's it's very fascinating.
So with the OpenAI version, so it's a kind of comment because it's hard to believe that the one that literally is putting needles in someone's brain is sort of failing, or not failing, but you know what I mean. It stops working, and then you've got OpenAI who's saying they can do it through ultrasound, which is like you think that the thing that going right into the brain is going to work. So one part to the OpenAI one is that it's a gene manipulation thing as well. So basically, it won't be that you can, but the step one of the journey of using this system is that you start to change your genes so that they respond to ultrasound. So your cells respond to ultrasound, and that will go into your brain, and then that's how you control it. It's kind of like wireless charging for smartphones or whatever. It's sort of like you're putting the technology in the blood, in the tissue, in the matter, and then using a device to then control and manipulate or read and write and stuff like that. So again, all very, very, very interesting. Similarly, let's go into Neo. I think this is a good point to bring up the new robot, the new fancy robot. That where is it?
Let's go with an intro maybe for this one.
So I didn't write an intro. So do you want to go? Intro?
Just go with explaining what it is.
So this is a robot that you invite into your home, and it does all of the things that you hate: washing, drying, folding, hoovering, cleaning of all sorts. Sounds like the dream, right?
You hate cleaning?
There's a catch. There's a friggin' catch. Of course I hate cleaning. Jesus Christ. So this is Neo. I think that was a pretty good intro, just to rattle off.
No, it was good. It was good.
So this is Neo. And he's a 5'6", 167 centimeter tall, soft well, I say soft body. No, it's a robot. It's a metal, but kind of this soft exoskeleton or costume on that will walk around and will do everything that you hope and dream for the mere low price of $500 a month, which sounds pretty reasonable. I looked at that and I was like, you know what?
Or you buy it for $20,000.
You buy it for 20,000 outright. Okay, that's the total price. Which, you know, if you've got the money, you go for it. You know, but 500 starts to make it a little bit more palatable. We're starting to get somewhere here.
Maybe you play the video as we explained.
Control it with your and today you can control it with your phone. So you schedule it to morning, evening, morning, afternoon, or evening to do various different chores around the house. So when you're off at work, it will just kind of do its thing and do whatever you set it to do. So pretty cool. But what's the catch? Well, there was who was it? Wall Street Journal? There was an interview that was done with the Wall Street Journal, a demonstration that was done with the Wall Street Journal. And it did all of these chores and stuff like that. But what was happening around the corner was it was being teleoperated. Everything that it did was completely and 100% teleoperated by someone with a MetaQuest headset on and a couple of remotes. So it was not AI at all. So this is where we start to crumble.
Yeah. So the catch is it can't do any of the things that it's promising to do.
It can't do right now. It cannot do anything. You are paying $500 a month or $20,000 to be part of a beta testing scheme, which I think is just preposterous. Like, this is something that they should actually. We're getting to the opinions too soon. Okay, but you're basically buying into a beta system where they can use the robot. I don't know how the learning takes place, where it's learning, or do they program it and let it do certain things and then someone interjects when it struggles or something like that. But the point is, it is a beta testing period.
Yes,
and
this is what they've said. Yeah,
and there is no known release date either. Okay, there's no known release date, so it's not quite the dream. Quite the dream. I'm still fairly excited about it. I'm always excited about new technology, but it's this. And Marcus Brownlee put it well. It's you know, the promise, the distance between the promise and what is actually what you're actually paying for.
Yeah,
so
these 3D shots are fire, though.
Yeah.
Yes, and the robot is also quite small, and it's not really powerful to do any like heavy lifting. So it can do small things, but even the fingers and the sensors are not amazing to do like every like small thing, like picking up a cable requires so much precision. Like we're taking it for granted that we can pick up something small so easily.
I think
without even thinking about
granted. It. Yeah,
yes.
I think you suddenly learn how much we take for granted. For instance, just a side note here, when you were talking about something injecting vision into your brain, just picture that you are able to not only see vision and look around, but you're also able to think things at the same time. Now, does this... You know, that's multitasking, right? To be able to see something, your brain is doing that. You totally take that for granted. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So the idea is that you pay $500 a month, and probably somebody across the world in a country where labor is much cheaper is operating this robot to move in your house, and it's quite different from just having a camera from a company in your, like my cat feeder has a camera and it's a Chinese, product like every other product. It's quite different for me knowing that cat feeder camera theoretically can be, operated by somebody and, they can see things compared to a freaking robot that can walk around the house. And that's pretty creepy in a different level. That's what I don't like. And also that it's not great at doing anything that they are promising it can do. For example, the things that they show, the things that supposed to be this robot to be the best at, like, for example, let me show this one. It's just so freaking bad. It's just so clunky. Look at this. It's
Rewind
almost,
a little bit. Just rewind a little bit.
yes, it's, well, if I
And again,
rewind even more, it
again.
will become
Yeah.
painful.
Play
Let's
that. No. Just let
yeah,
play from where you just had it.
yeah, let's watch these. This gets like, look, to open the door of that dishwasher, you have to keep your balance and go back and open it. We take all of that for granted. And these robots, obviously with machine learning, and we've seen a lot of things from NVIDIA, they can learn a good deal.
This bit.
But they're just not there.
The reason
It's so
the reason
painful.
why I don't think we should play an awful lot, because copyright, so we can't just
I know
broadcast this.
we're like I think this is like completely fair use. We're commentating on this precisely. Anyway,
Doesn't matter. We got stopped before, so
yeah. So we have these issues with this robot. And have you, like, look at this again, have you had a junior, like a absolute junior on the team, or like anywhere in any team trying to do something, and you see how painfully slow and wrong it is, and you just take the tool and you do it yourself? I see this and I just think, oh, I can't watch the robot do this. I have to just do
But
it.
if you're stood there watching a robot do this, then you don't need the robot. You've clearly got too much time on your hands. But
the idea is good, that it could theoretically.
Of course, there's plenty of robots out there there's plenty of companies out there that have built these robots to do this. Just Neo or 1X, they are bold enough to say they've launched something which they kind of haven't. And it's a glorified beta testing system, which half these companies are doing. They're just doing behind the scenes. So I think they were just like first mover kind of advantage to just say they're doing something, plus get some more money. Because there will be people who, I'm not totally against having someone, like, I hate being told that we should worry about certain things. Like, honestly, there are some privacy things that I just do not mind. And if this teleoperated thing, like, they've got so much to lose by being malicious about their role, as long as they're, you might worry about it being hacked or bypassed or something like that. But what really can they do? And two, they've got so much to lose by letting things mess up.
Well, it
so anyway,
depends. Yeah, but in your house, especially it's a machine with cameras. It's a robot that can move, and theoretically it can, like, I don't know, take your stuff and look stuff over. So it could be malicious, right? It could be malicious. And we've seen like leaked documents from Tesla, for example, because they have also cameras, and we have leaked documents like internally, people at Tesla looking at footage of random people and joking around. Things happen in people's houses, and they send these video clips internally, and some of them leak. So you don't want your data potentially. Maybe you don't have something to hide, but you still don't.
That's what I mean. If you've got something to hide, then you should not be buying.
But
but I don't. And
even if you don't,
I don't mind, is what I'm saying. So different strokes for different folks. I'm not about to tell anyone they shouldn't worry about it. But would you
let this robot to be in your house if you had the money to spend, or
that's what I'm saying? Probably.
Would you?
Probably, if I had the money. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
even if it can't do much.
I'm into helping beta test or whatever. I mean, there's many more questions you asked me. Like, I don't think you should be paying to beta test this thing. But I would, depending on what it's like in a year's time or whatever. But Yeah, it like the fact that, okay, let's reverse the question. If this was not teleoperated at all, like, would you be happy with this in your house?
Yeah, I will be on the line to buy a robot. Like right after the show, I have to clean up the space because I will have guests over. So, I'm not really looking forward to that. But this is my issue is not only the teleoperability, but also like mostly it seems like from the video, it seems like it's not really helpful. It can't do the things that they are promising to do.
Yeah. Let's move on because we've got loads to get to, and I'm just mindful of the time. Let's talk about this live stream that OpenAI made some interesting revelations. Sorry if you can hear that. Made some interesting revelations and some optimistic predictions. One of them being robotics, which I thought it was quite appropriate. But some interesting. This was a very informal. The camera's completely out of focus. It's focused on this MacBook here. Completely informal thing, which I think would be, they want to try and aim to do this every month. They want to try and do this informal thing every month. They was trying to give insight into where things are going, and they answered some really brutally honest questions like, will you just finally admit that ChatGPT is a disaster and this and that and the other? Lots of questions about GPT 4.0, etc., etc. So very raw, very honest, apparently. But some key things that I picked up on, which were quite interesting, is that Sam alluded to, no, sorry, he didn't even allude to, he put a chart here. See this little grayed out thing here? They've alluded to devices. Now we know about the pin or whatever it is that he's working on with Johnny Ive. That's a device. This is devices. Yeah. Which alludes to an idea of multiple things they're looking at. Now, we know that ChatGPT are throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. They are trying to prove that AI is not a bubble and that they can get some money from somewhere. No two bones about it. But this was quite interesting for me. We spoke about, well, they did actually say robotics. So that may or may not be another device. Don't know. So devices could be a thing. It's interesting as well how Atlas is very much a prominent thing here. This is does this make sense to you, this kind of stacking that
I was thinking about this, but third-party applications kind of like taking the rest of the space doesn't make much sense.
So what they're saying here, it's saying third-party applications can touch various stages of their platform. It can touch data centers, energy, and racks. It can touch models. It can touch OpenAI account. That's what that means.
I understand. But
sorry.
Generally speaking, it does. It does make sense. ChatGPT Atlas being an item there is also shows that they are trying to bet big on it. And they're doing tons of like products, like different products, different levels.
And so another kind of tidbit from this stream that I picked up on is that they are predicting AGI by 2028, which
no way.
It was like a question from the audience type of thing, and it was just, he spent quite a while thinking about it. But AGI by 2028. Now, just a reminder, AGI is completely self-learning AI that can take a brand new and novel challenge and be able to figure it out. Whereas right now we're working with an AI that has to learn, and it just regurgitates information that's already learned. Whereas, AGI and what's it called? Artificial general intelligence. Is that. So very much human-like, developmental. And
we're talking about a conscious intelligence.
Yeah.
And I'm not even considering
I don't know whether
current...
maybe I'm getting too spiritual, but I don't think AGI will ever reach consciousness. But I think everyone has their different... it's a spectrum that people...
No, yes, it is a spectrum, and we won't it's not like movies that we have software and then we have a conscious intelligence. It's not like from this to that overnight. It will be like a gradual learning for the systems to get intelligent. But to me, AGI has been and always, like, the definition will be, it is intelligent and it is conscious to the point that it is at least similar in some ways to human intelligence. It doesn't have to be, the same tissue and the same logic that we have, but it needs to operate fundamentally on logic. It has to be intelligent in that way and be able to store memory, get basically read and write memory. And these systems that we have are not that at all. Like, we have essentially just a prediction machine. These LLMs are just a huge, like, very, very, very big and advanced prediction machine, and they are just not. I'm not convinced that with the current architecture we can reach AGI. I'm not convinced. Maybe we will, and I will be happy to see that, but we are not there. That's one point. Another point that I would love to ask and see what you think. If Sam Altman can get us AGI, why would, if you can get access to AGI, why would you share it? If it's a super intelligent that can, let's just stay at building software. If it can build software on demand, why would you share it? Why don't you just rebuild all the software in the world and just give it, to people for a very small subscription, and at the end you're making like all the money in the world because you have you have all the intelligence, you have, like, you can do anything. You're in the God mode. Why would you share the God mode with others?
It's a weird analogy, but it's how money changes people, right? People always say, like, oh, if I had all this money, I wouldn't change, and I would do this and I would do that. And then when they finally win the lottery, or they finally come into money, most people change like that, right? Because they don't anticipate the impact that it has on them, the power it has on them. And all of a sudden you start to see people's personality change. I think this might be the same thing, and that Sam Altman and the team encounter AGI, they suddenly realize, holy crap, we can literally in a split second write a complete framework for governments to manipulate and control the planet in a way where they'll never. This is a very, very it's not even simple. It's actually probably the worst thing you could probably do with AGI, is just completely manipulate the world with this intelligence in a way that we never even understand. It's so, like, if that's not already happening, which it probably already is, to be honest. But anyway, so question to me, why would you share it? I like to have faith in people. I like to, and I want to, by the way, this is very, very separate to, do I think we should share it? That's very separate. That's a different question. But, like, I like to believe that people are good and they want to empower the rest of the world. By the way, I just want to shout out to Austin, who's given us a shout out. And he's also saying, I think AGI will follow the same use case as self-driving. First see some small use cases, then we'll scale over a few years. AGI maybe 2035. Absolutely. And that comes from a safety aspect of, like, what do people do with it? And that goes back to what was alluding to, is, like, if you sell AGI at, $200 a month, you're literally giving the keys to terrorists to do some awful, awful things. I don't think AGI should be publicly available. I think it's wild to make AGI publicly available. An abstracted layer, which is what Austin's saying, this gradual process, we should roll it out and just see what people do with it. The moment people start doing crazy shit with it, we take it back a peg. But it's very... You're getting me scared now. I think we should move on.
It's the genie out of the box that we can't put back, right? That's the thing.
Go
on. One last thing that I want to mention is, I'm watching this video. I'm gonna just show it on the screen for people who might be interested. I'm in the middle of it. It sounds very, very interesting. Hank Green, like, huge YouTuber, this video called ChatGPT Isn't Smart, It's Something Much Weirder. And they talk about what AGI could be. They are talking about like what is being smart, and if we are on that path. Again, I'm in the middle of it. It's very enjoyable. I highly recommend watching this. And there are some explanations from very simple going into quite a bit more technical than I thought it would. But they go into this technicality of explaining how we get from GPUs, sold by NVIDIA, to a computer that speaks back to us, how we go from that to that. So highly recommend watching it.
Cool. And yeah, just the last one here is they're looking to build a 20 gigawatt a week factory, with each of those gigawatts costing $20 billion. So that's $20 billion a week. Now, I know, well, I don't know, actually, I've heard that a lot of these companies are looking to nuclear energy, to, where this energy comes from is not said here, but this is crazy. And they want to get that price down. Obviously, like $20 billion a week is just crazy, crazy, crazy. But just some tidbits that I picked up on this stream that I thought was interesting to share. Just to let you know, go on.
20 kilowatts.
Gigawatts.
20 gigawatts per day?
Per week. It's on the screen.
Per week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was looking at my screen. I asked Google how much a city uses. I mean, it varies from city to city, obviously. But it says like a city uses 2 kilowatts per day.
A city?
Yes. So this is like insane. So we're talking about like soon AI will consume a good percentage of the total energy that humanity uses. But we're not there, by the way, yet, and we're not even close. It's using a lot of electricity, but AI is using less electricity than most people would probably guess, or like media tries to show. Same with water. I've seen that there are like a lot of people being scared of the amount of water these infrastructures use, but it's not nearly as close as to some like football stadiums or facilities use. So yeah.
We won't get into it just because of time, but like you've seen Stargate, which is a plan to put GPUs and compute in space, which will be very, very cold, but wild.
It's very cool. It's very cool. I love the idea, like putting those in the space with like big solar panels. But we will have like a lot of issues. We will have also, we need to take care of what's it called, like like on Earth we don't have issue with the solar winds, but up there we have, and we're talking about like that level of GPUs up there. And also I believe that the lifespan can't be over like a few years, up to a decade maybe. So there are a lot of problems that need to be solved to make that happen. Soon we will get the Dyson Sphere, by the way. So that's the path to Dyson Sphere.
Yeah. So just wanted to give you a shout. If you are on YouTube right now, give the video a like. That'd be fucking great. And if you're not on YouTube, scan that QR code, come over to YouTube, and give us a like over on the video, because we could really do with the support. Anyway, that's the AI part of the show over. Not intentionally, because this week has been a completely design-filled week, starting with Affinity and Canva. Now, this they've made it completely free. The redesign is sick, and they've merged all the tools into one. Basically, if you don't know, Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo, Affinity Layout, or something like this, they've called it Layout now. I don't quite think this is nipping at the heels of Figma. However, I think Adobe definitely has got to be worried. So, first of all, what do you think of this design they're going with right now?
Absolutely beautiful.
You like it?
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I've got some more design questions for you later on, because there's another.
Yeah, I love all of their designs. It's very bold. It's
Yeah.
I like their new brand, and it's
Yeah.
not Adobe like. Like, have you seen like Adobe website? It's just so bad.
They're
It's
so
so
corporate. They're just too.
corporate. Yeah.
Yeah. This is interesting, right? This thing here, because I have not.
Yeah.
I've got. And by the way, I'm jumping the gun right now because I haven't even taken you through it. But I've got a note to say I don't see any collaboration, whereas this gives me collaboration vibes. Anyway,
this
let's
is the
go through it.
first thing I thought about when I saw Affinity combining all their three apps. So you have pixel based like Photoshop, you
They
have
got vector.
vector
Yeah.
similar to Adobe Illustrator, and you have layouts like Adobe InDesign all in one app. And
Yeah.
the first thing I thought was like, are they also going after Figma? Because that would make sense. Why shouldn't they? They have Canva backing them. Well, they are owned by Canva, so maybe
It's only because I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't. Absolutely, it would be interesting to see where they go. But obviously, they took shots at Adobe during this presentation.
yeah,
By the way, let me just quickly share that tab.
yeah,
They talk about bloat, and it would be very bloaty if they were to take a web design tool into their one tool. I don't know. I think let's see how they get on. With web design is very, very different to graphic design. I think the graphic design and publication is what they're really going for here, rather than
but still, like, why not have a canvas that can be shared with others? Collaboration that would be
absolutely.
really
Collaboration is
cool.
very different. I'm talking about web design. I'm talking about like the actual creating of a website. But yeah, collaboration again. If this website is anything to go by, I wonder if that's, why do you need someone's name as the mouse? Maybe that's a clue. Saying all that, I didn't hear anything about collaboration in this. They might have said something. Let us know in the comments. Austin saying crazy production quality, def get a like. There you go. Boom. Good quality. Good production quality is there. Let's talk about a few other things then. So yeah, it's now completely free. This was a one-time purchase, which made me a lover of Affinity. I moved on to Affinity years and years and years ago. I'm very happy to see that it's gone free now. The iPad version is coming, but that Adobe Photo 2 and the designer and the publisher 2, they're all free on iPad, but the new app is yet to come. I think they even say it here. There's one format, so it's a .af file. They had a lot of fun with that on stage.
Yeah.
Infinite canvas, which you can zoom in like they said 1 million or something crazy.
6 million,
6 million
% or something. And what is really cool with the format that they have, that AF format, that you can call your files cool.af.
Yeah.
I'm just too much of a child.
And the most interesting thing, I think here, which is why it's free, is, and what I'm actually quite excited about, is that they've got Canva AI features built into these tools. So they've got AI tools built in for the classic extending a photo, like retouching, things like that, AI fill. That is what's going to set you back £13 or £100 a year for that. That requires a Canva premium subscription, but it gives you the AI features here. So it's this interesting thing that it's that free gateway that Framer are doing that you pay off the back end. However, 13 quid, not too bad. And yeah, you could probably dip in and out of that quite easily. So really interesting going after Adobe here, and a real positive thing to come out of the acquisition by Canva. So I'm here for it. I'm excited.
I didn't think, like, we all thought, okay, Canva bought this cool app and now they are going to charge just like Adobe, but they did the absolute opposite of that. And the keynote was really fun, because on the keynote they said, what was like the exact quote, that Adobe, they didn't call it, they didn't say
just
Adobe,
said about bloated software charging what they want.
And they said because of they charged what they want, and they said there was one choice, and that one choice they charged. They meant Adobe. They charge whatever they want, and they said because of corporate greed. They
Yes.
literally said it,
Yes.
and that was really fun, and the audience really liked that because Adobe is like that. You used to get a monthly payment. You could like buy Adobe product for a monthly payment, but you couldn't cancel it. It was a yearly subscription that you couldn't cancel, and if you would have to cancel, you would have to pay, I believe, like 50% of the remaining time for the software that you don't want to use. Now I
Yeah.
want to tell you something very embarrassing that I'm. How can I say this? It's really hard to say it. I've been paying for Adobe Photoshop.
Just on its own.
Just Photoshop because I need it from time to time. And I just never canceled because it comes in again and again that I need it.
Did you
That
know
is
about
going to
Affinity?
end today. Yes, I knew about it, but I'm pretty like decent with Photoshop. Like I know my way around
There,
Photoshop
it,
really
it
well.
is. I still have hiccups with Affinity. Like I've used Photoshop for years and years. You know, contrary to popular belief, if you're part of my Nano Banana fucking LinkedIn discussion, I've used Photoshop for years, and I miss the AI stuff. You know, the fills and things like that. I'm very much like you, just know my way around Photoshop, but I just refuse to pay for it. There you go. Today,
I'm going to absolutely cancel it and not look back. And yeah, I regret spending every bit of money on Adobe because of all the time that it crashed on me and all the pain that I've been through, and every single time that I can't even cancel easily. Like I'm trying to find a cancel, I can't. I don't know how can I cancel? Like it's not in the payment. I don't know. Cancel your plan. There you go. And I'm trying, and I'm sure they will like toss in like not. I've been logged in. Why do you want me to log in to cancel my plan? They deliberately make it difficult to cancel. They have tons of like these like very greedy tactics to not let you go, and I just don't like that, don't appreciate it. Another so how should we move on to the Adobe news? Should we just continue here?
Well, we've been talking
because it's not much.
Yeah, go for it. Go for Adobe. The Adobe Max stuff.
So speaking of Adobe, we have a few Adobe news. We had Adobe Max, which is the yearly conference by Adobe. I haven't watched much of it, but I checked a few things about it, and we have a bit more AI in Photoshop. And what seems like people are very interested in, there is an AI assistant inside of Photoshop. So you can tell Photoshop, hey, can you do this thing for me? And it does it for you. It can also rename your layers. I mean, yeah.
Didn't that come to Figma recently as well?
That was in Figma, yes. But now you have it in Photoshop as well. But there are things about Adobe that are really good, believe it or like it or not. Adobe doesn't just own Photoshop. Adobe owns the whole distribution of essentially ads and content and marketing. So from the creation of it, the moment you take a picture, Adobe owns that pipeline all the way to delivery and even analyzing how your campaign went. And this is it's much less known about Adobe. So if you are doing anything like with serious photography, you have to use Adobe Lightroom. There is nothing even close to Adobe Lightroom. It's that good. And you can do like crazy stuff with it. And now with AI, and I don't mean like this slop generated nano banana AI, with like proper AI, like machine learning in Lightroom, you can do like noise reduction and like light changing and things like this like never before. So these things are really powerful. And then when it comes to distribution, Adobe even owns like CMS. They have a CMS of their own that many companies use, and they have analytics tools and for campaigns, for your ad campaign. So yeah, they own that vertical, and Photoshop and After Effects and these tools are being like a small part of that, and these are being the part that they start like getting people in. You get in because of Photoshop, and then you continue, because of their other tools. And it seems like Affinity is essentially doing the same thing by making it absolutely free for everybody. I can imagine new students just go with Affinity instead of anything else. And that looks very exciting. So yeah,
Very cool.
Adobe has some like very the point being, like, they have some tools for professionals that there is no other tool that can do the same. That's why they are so popular. They have tons of tools, but they are also a very greedy company with dark UX everywhere and trying to charge money for everything, and not really being, they don't have a lot of competition. I wish there was like a better tool than Lightroom, but there is not.
Yeah, for me, nothing can replace After Effects. I've tried Apple Motion, like After Effects is just incredible, but it is what it
exactly.
is. So designers rejoice again. We have some updates from Figma too, which is wild. So they acquired a company called Weave. Now, I don't know what the hell this is. Maybe someone else can figure it out in the comments. But obviously, your prompt, it's like a workflow. It reminds me of Comfy UI, although I don't know how to use Comfy UI. It's a pipeline generator for motion graphics. It says it down here: image generation, video, animation, motion design, VFX. This is big. And how
in
this
a node
integrates,
base.
and how this integrates with Figma, I don't know, because obviously we're used to pixel. Well, I guess it's all pixels really, but like videos and things like that. This looks really cool, and they call it Figma Weave. So keeping in the theme of Weaver, which is the company they acquired. Looks like a really exciting tool. There you go there. So that's building for the next generation. In under a year, Weavy has built an amazing community. Under a year, does that mean they've only been running a year and have been acquired by Figma? Crazy. There is a company we haven't spoken about who got acquired by OpenAI, and they've literally just released one video. It's called Sky, and it's literally just a UI. Like they've created like a clean, floaty looking UI. They released one like video building apps, and then they got acquired by OpenAI. Crazy stuff. I don't know if you saw anything about that. But anyway, that's that. Updates also to Figma Make scheme. This is wrong. Figma Make basic. Go on.
Or just Schema. It's not just Figma Make. Like, it's just called Schema 2025. Maybe I'll
Oh, I see. Design systems for a new era. So go on. You take us through this.
Okay, so we have even a bigger update in maybe, I don't know if we should start with this and end with the other one in the edit. So we have this big update from Figma called Schema. And there is one part of this that is very interesting. And Sam, I know you will love this one. It's slots. Figma components have been very powerful. You could do a lot of variations, but that was also the issue. If you wanted to combine like different variations, you really couldn't. So you had to make even more variations. Now with slots, which is something that we had in Webflow, and this is something that we have in programming, you can define areas where you can put other components in. So imagine you have a component of a card, and inside of that card, you can add images or text or whatever, like for a blog or something else, and you can nest these inside of one another. And I don't know actually how many layers of nesting you can do, but essentially this is components within components, and this was missing a lot in Figma, and I'm very, very excited to see it.
Very cool. And
And
I guess
yeah.
they like they're responsive, basically. Is that right?
Well, you can make the component itself responsive, right? And then it will be responsive inside of that component essentially as well. But the point being that you couldn't put different component sets inside of one another, but now you can, and you can have like variations within variations, which is really cool.
And
yeah,
and just to be clear, is this Figma or Figma Make?
this is Figma.
Okay.
But this is what I wanted to say. This is probably going to come to Figma Make as well, which will be very interesting for creation of websites, because this is a huge part of how we work with Webflow right now. It's big. It's really like nice to have slots inside of Webflow, and having this in Figma Make would be also quite nice. They also have this extended collections that I'm not really sure what it is about. I'm not that big of a Figma user, but it seems like you have a main brand, and then the extended collections are essentially like a subset of that brand that can be defined more granularly. So on the top level, maybe you define some level of the aesthetics of that brand, like for that big company.
The foundation.
Exactly. And then the subset like has different, so it's like for sister companies that would make a lot of sense, or like similar brands under the same main brand. And we have a few other like smaller updates that I'm not really sure about, and they have like improvements to the performance, as you see here, like the before and the after. It happens immediately, while before it took some time. They also talked about, I'm not sure about the Code Connect UI. I haven't checked that, but they have the Figma MCP server. They already had this, but apparently there are some improvements to the workflow there as well.
Let's have a little look. Brings Figma components out there. You can now add guidelines for how AI models should adhere to your design system. Very cool. Very cool. So on the AI side, then the other thing they released is design systems inside of Figma Make. So again, with that extended collection thing, you can, I guess it's a huge use case to have, and I can already actually see it now, that you have businesses and organizations having this foundational design system and then lots of subsets, as you say.
Yeah.
So this seems to be a big thing that they're going after right now, and it sort of alludes to maybe more of a corporate, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I'm just meaning that a lot of businesses are requiring that sort of functionality, which they're trying to facilitate with a lot of these updates, you know.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Another update, this is for you. For teams who already have a design system in their code base, we will allow you to import your React components. So
interesting. I wonder, in Make, is that in Make or is that in Figma?
This is in Make.
Yeah. Very cool. So it's like Webflow's DevLink thing,
exactly.
AI component type of thing. So yeah, very cool. I wonder if the React components need to be a certain way, or need to be formatted, or include, or is just straight up dump of a React component. But either way, very much looking forward to digging into that.
They also have the importing and exporting variables. This could get really interesting with probably also with other apps like Webflow, like Figma to Webflow app. Maybe like syncing. Maybe we can have like two-way sync of variables. That would be really nice.
So that kind of wraps it up. I had one other thing that was more tech focused, design focused, that I wanted to run past you that I thought was quite nice.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else you want to go through.
No, that's pretty much it.
Cool. So do you know the car company Rivian?
Yes.
So they actually released or have announced this bike, which looks wild. It's what do they call it? It's driven by wire, which means that there's no traditional gears and chain on this thing.
Yeah.
You pedal to charge the battery, which then powers the motor. So if you run out of battery in the middle of the sticks, you ain't getting anywhere
Yeah.
because it's all done by battery. You have this hot swappable battery, interesting design, looks pretty cool. It's called Also. I'm guessing it's, I don't know, subsidiary of Rivian or something like that. But what I thought was quite nice, and you're starting to see elements of it right now, and I wondered what your thoughts are, because I know it's very divisive, is this neo-brutalism design aspect. You know,
Yeah.
you've got this eye, the classic one here. And this carries forward, you see it there. This carries forward to a little screen. There you go, pedal, pedal, pedal.
Yeah.
On the actual bike on the front. And I just thought this was really nice, and a nice, I don't know, it's just nice to see this out in the open. I don't know whether that's the right way to explain it, but I just really liked it.
And Rivian is great at UI and in design. Like they've been killing it with their designs. Maybe their cars, the look of their cars is not for everybody, but I do actually like the look in their cars. And if I could get one, I'd probably consider it.
Yeah.
But the bike, I'm not a big fan of this bike. This is more like motorcycle than a bike. It looks like a bike, but it's not really a bike, because it, as you said, this is not connected physically to the tires. So
it's
once
like a
you are,
it's like a Flintstone powered bike, basically. You got to run to power it. But
exactly, and I'm pretty sure this, because of like these extra gears, it's going to be heavier than a normal bike. And I'm not really looking forward to that part either. But the design of it is really cool. And I wish it was, connected just like other bikes, like had a wire and a chain. A chain would be really nicer than, what's it called? Like wire. What did you say? Like,
well, it's called steer-by-wire in the Cybertruck, but this is not steer-by-wire. Yeah, either way, you pedal.
I know what you mean. Exactly, yeah. That's what I'm not a big fan of. But the rest of it looks really nice.
Yeah.
How much?
$4,500.
Okay, that's actually not as much as I thought they would charge for this.
I saw a comment on someone's video saying that they just paid $4,000 for a bike that has sort of half the features of this. So this is apparently not too bad. It's out of my budget. But yeah.
Yeah, I paid €3,500 euros for an electric bike from Cube. I don't know if you know Cube. And it's not a smart bike. It's a very powerful electric bike. It has like a really good, I don't know, like everything about it is kind of like top. But I didn't buy like the most expensive Cube bike, because like some of the more expensive Cube bikes cost about like 6, 7, even I believe closer to 10K. And this being just $4,500, it's not too bad. And especially being smart, it seems like it knows, it has some stats and it connects to your smartphone. Probably it will have an app and things like this. The bike that I got for $3,500 it just has the controller to change the speed and things like this. It's not a smart bike.
So it sounds pretty reasonable then. So I mean, the reason why I bring it to your attention is just this app design. I thought it was really nice, and this does carry forward to the app. I haven't found a picture of someone using the app, but it's like the app looks like this neo-brutalism as well. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's as I say, it's just nice to see.
It's a bold choice.
It's bold, and it kind of carries through to the design of the bike, you know. But just thought it was quite cool.
It has elements of Rivian as well, like the lights in Rivian. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that'll do it then. Cheers for tuning in this week. Thanks for joining us on this mad old journey. And I haven't written down the outro, so I've completely forgot what it was. But this is all we've got time for. Tune in next week for our live show. You'll obviously see all of the clips go out. Like, subscribe, and all the rest of it. That has been A Week in AI. I've been Samuel Gregory.
And I've been Kawarza.
Keep on vibing.
Peace out.